event video Nitro Shootout. Nitro Funny Cars, starring the reigning world champion, Chuck Etchels.
Etchels with that brand new sponsorship from both Super Winch and Mother's Performance. You're right, Bob. He just finished winning the iTry World Championship. He's really hot. He qualified number 3 for this main event video, Nitro Shootout, here in Bristol today.
He is in the near lane. In the far lane, his rival, Jerry Caminito.
Caminito dropped out the number 1 qualifier, Bob Gilbertson, in the first round. Caminito turned in a 580. Etchels turned in a 591.
Caminito hails from Jackson, New Jersey. Chuck Etchels from Putnam, Tennessee, although the car is based at his crew chief shops in Connecticut.
Right now, they just made a quick adjustment to Caminito's car. I don't think it's anything to be concerned about. Probably one little thing they wanted to check very quickly. There we can look right into the face of Chuck Etchels as he's getting ready to prepare to stage that car. A quick nod to the crew chief, Paul Smith, letting him know that everything's ready. The oil pressure's up. I pulled the pins out of the fire extinguisher system, and I'm ready to race this guy.
And I am sitting right behind a 4,000 horsepower engine. In fact, I'm sitting underneath a bread basket with it.
Etchels will be the last to stage. Caminito in and ready.
There is the Blue Thunder of Jerry Caminito. The 2 cars are away. Caminito gets a little squirrely. Etchels pulls out a lead and extends it to the finish.
Chuck Etchels picks up the victory with a 5.66, 257 miles per hour. He actually won that race in the second 8th mile of competition, Bob.
Carrying a lot of rear wing on that car, a lot of downforce on those. Using the electric starter motor and a burst of fuel down through the blower pipes. This is why they are called floppers. Away comes the front brace, and down comes the bodywork, over 4,000 horsepower.
Has to be one of the eeriest feelings in the world, Bob, when you set in there with that hand grenade and they bring that body down over you, and there you are, just you and all of that engine.
This is Bob Lagana out of Eastchester, New York. His competition, Freddie Neely from Covington, Georgia.
Well, Freddie's been running of late, running plenty strong. He dropped Gary Litton out in the first round of this main event video Nitro Shootout. He ran a 587 to Litton's losing 578. What does that tell you? That tells you that Neely won it right off the starting line with sheer reaction time.
Knowing that's the case, Bob Lagana is no doubt going to try to throw a tree on him. There is 0.4 of a second in which these drivers can anticipate the green. A perfect light is a 4.00, and we've seen one of those already this year by John Carey in the Top Fuel division.
Just a little piece of irony, while Neely dropped Gary Litton out in the first round, Bobby Lagana dropped out his son, Steve Litton. Lagana ran a 6.13. Steve ran a 6.60. So without question, Neely's the odds-on favorite to win here with those kind of numbers.
There you see Bob Lagana in the cockpit. There is the big slick. That pie-shaped white mark on the tire allows the crew chief to look at videotape to count wheel revolutions. Great launch. You saw the wind-up in the sidewall of the tire. Looks like Lagana has Neely, but Neely drives back around.
Not until the last few hundred feet. Freddie Neely wins it with a
screen for some other competitors this weekend. This is Carl Ruth during an attempted qualifying pass, and watch as he takes the ride of his life.
What a shame indeed. He ripped the body. That's the only 1956 Ford Crown Victoria ever built for Nitro Funny Car Racing. He built this car just to race Tom McEwen. The car's still going. The engine's still on right there. Finally, he brings it to a stop. Thank goodness he wasn't hurt. The doctor on hand will check him over, and he was just fine.
Scary moment, though, for Carl Ruth, who ripped the left side rear tire absolutely off the car. Let's take another look and see if we can see what happens.
Watch what happens here as Carl Ruth gets over near the sideline. Now, he doesn't lift. He actually should shut the car down at this point. He gets closer and closer to that center line. You'll see him get past the 8th mile light. Now he comes up on the 990-foot light. Now he's to the finish line, and there he hits the cones. That starts the body disengaging off of the car. The air pressures at about 200 miles an hour do the rest of the work.
You know, I think what may have happened is he blew that left rear tire. He may have cut the tire, and somehow the left slick went away and tore the bodywork. At any rate, you can see the reaction when the air got under it, as Ted described. Carl Ruth, very, very fortunate.
I imagine he worked on this car for a long time. Look at him hit the guardrail right there, and the guardrail does the job it's intended to do. It keeps him back on the track, keeps him from getting upside down or even on his side. Carl Ruth moving on down the track now. The engine's still running at this point. He's trying to steer the car, trying to get it stopped. Now both rear tires have gone flat on Carl Ruth's car.
Despite all of that, it looks as though the framework might be in pretty good shape. He didn't hit the wall all that hard. The headers still look to be in good shape. But he's definitely going to have to take that car totally apart and have a look at it.
Still dragging a piece of the body. Not all the body's gone. He's got the rear deck and the spoiler cocked up kind of like a convertible top.
And we're ready for semifinal action in Pro Stock.
Not real important.
Starter Jim Blakely brings the cars to the line. Up come the revs.
Blakely motioning Kirk to get in at the last minute.
Oh, and Kirk very slow doing it. Yates got a tremendous hole shot, but Kirk comes right back and he drives around Yates.
That's that big mountain motor. Doug Kirk, 7.42, 188 miles per hour. Yates, 755, 183. And right you were, Bob. Yates had a 441 reaction. Kirk was a 507.
Here is Tim Neighbors and his mountain motor Chevrolet. He'll be going up against the Pontiac of perhaps the king of the mountain motors, Ricky Smith.
Ricky Smith dropped Carlton Phillips from Woodbridge, Virginia in round number 1. Phillips turned a 744. Ricky raked up a 740. In the other lane, though, Tim Neighbors was lightning quick off the lights. He had a 495 reaction, ran a 739 to drop out Billy Ewing.
So we should see a tremendous start here. Both Neighbors and Smith terrific up against that green light.
Well, the beautiful STP Pontiac, painted just like NASCAR star Richard Petty's car, backs up, makes that dry little chirp hop up toward the starting line now. Tim Neighbors just rolls gently forward to the starting line.
Ricky Smith is actually King Richard's neighbor of North Carolina way. Ricky lives in King, North Carolina. Of course, Richard Petty lives in Level Cross.
You can see their hand on that first gear lever and his finger on the line lock. As soon as he gets ready to leave, he'll release that lock, and then just a few seconds later, matter of fact, about 2 seconds later, he'll yank her into second gear.
Still waiting to stage. Neighbors is in. Now Smith will roll in. And away they go. Good start for both cars. Looked like Ricky got him on the launch just a little bit. They are side by side at half track. This is a drag race.
Ricky Smith pulls it out with a 7.35, 189 miles per hour. Tricky Ricky reached down in his bag of tricks, came up with a 735 when he needed it the most. He and Tim Neighbors.
And there's 10,000 at stake. We move on now, however, to semifinal action in Pro Modified. This is Bill Kuhlman. Not in the Chevrolet that he made famous, the Summit Racing Beretta. That car was wrecked earlier this year. He is now racing a Camaro up against the Pontiac of Blake Wiggins.
Well, Blake and the Wicked Wanda car make quite a reputation this year on the IHRA trail. Blake bumped off Scotty Cannon in the first round, while Bill Kuhlman beat the supercharged Black Mariah of Freddie Hahn to advance into this semifinal round. Kuhlman backing the car up. He would like to win that bonus and be like a little extra sponsor money. Kuhlman sponsored by Summit Racing Equipment, but another 10,000 couldn't hurt anything, Bob.
Certainly couldn't hurt me, Ted. There you see all that white bodywork along the inside of the car. Blake Wiggins took this machine into the guardrail at Darlington, South Carolina a few weeks back and hasn't had the time to paint it. There is Bill Kuhlman inside his cockpit wearing the reflective sunglasses that a lot of the drag racers prefer these days. Both cars just about staged and ready. Clean start for both cars. Kuhlman a little bit squirrely, though, and he has to lift out of it. Blake Wiggins will have an easy run to the final. Doug Kirk and his bright red Oldsmobile. He will be in the near lane. In the far lane, the five-time former IHRA Pro Stock champion, Ricky Smith.
Well, Tricky Ricky, you see backing up right there, pulled a 735 out of the hat in defeating Tim Neighbors earlier this afternoon. Doug Kirk could only muster up a 742.
Someone is going to come out of this shootout $10,000 richer.
Doug Kirk with 689 cubic inches of Oldsmobile power going against Ricky's 735-inch motor.
In the right lane, Ricky Smith went right to the staging lights. Kirk waited a little bit. Looks like Ricky may have gotten a nose out in front of him at the start. He's got half a car length at half track, and he wins it.
Ricky Smith wins the Summit Racing Equipment Pro Stock Shootout with a 7.37, 188 miles per hour. Kirk could not find the 730. He ran a 7.40 at 188. We'll take a look one more time at the finish.
And both of them had very tight reaction times. 472 for Kirk, overcome by Ricky Smith's 453. Well, with the exception of Greg Moss, all of our winners thus far have been first-time shootout champions. Now we'll find out if the record will maintain. This is the Summit Equipment Racing Quick 8 Pro Modified Shootout. In the left lane, Ronnie Sox. On the right, Blake Wiggins. Once again, $10,000 at stake for the winner, $2,000 to the loser. And that would be one of the biggest paydays that either of these drivers have seen in a long time. Wiggins is ready.
Wiggins, 615 cubic inches of Pontiac power. Ronnie Sox, 707 cubic inches of Ford power.
Jim Blakely brings them to the starting line, purging those nitrous systems. Those are the little spouts of what looks like steam, nitrous oxide that helps in the combustion process. Cars move into the staging beam. Sox in the near lane, Wiggins in the far lane. Sox needs to creep forward in the left-hand lane. He's there, and they are away. Good start. Wiggins with a spectacular start, and Ronnie Sox has broken. Blake Wiggins will have an easy walk to a $10,000 payday.
Blake Wiggins, what a win. He didn't lay it out doing it. 6.93, 200.61 miles per hour. He wins it in style, Bob.
This is Richard Holcomb, who ran a solo effort when his opponent Jack Ostrander broke coming to the starting line.
Holcomb wins the Angus Nitro Showdown with a 5.49, 252 miles per hour.
In Nitro Funny Car, the main event video Nitro Shootout, Chuck Etchels took on Freddie Neely, and there was trouble in the near lane for Etchels. Neely goes on to be the easy winner.
Freddie Neely picks up the money with a 5.66, 246 miles per hour over Chuck Etchels.
Big Wheels is back at the same time next week.